G.G. Blankies, since 2011, presents on Blog Talk Radio Musings with Steve and Teresa. G.G. Blankies are baby blankets and toddler blankets for many and all. Call 740-727-1684 and talk with Teresa about the many different designs that she has available. Now on to the show.
Hello everyone, welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Our show is captured and linked to YouTube. The programs are listed in the archives of both Blog Talk Radio and YouTube video. You can watch as well as listen. We refer to our efforts as Musings with Steve and Teresa, and the shows are archived as such. Our phone number will be presented later in the program, so have paper and pen ready. We'll welcome your opinions during our discussions. I'm Steve, a co-host.
Hi, I'm Teresa, the other co-host.
We're here to enlighten, entertain, inform about issues we think are important. We want people to think about how positive actions make positive people.
Anyone wanting to join our discussion can call us at 347-308-8409. You will be next in line. Again, that's 347-308-8409.
Thank you, Terry. I see you brought us a beautiful blankie. Tell me about it.
This one is called, of course, Pink Drops. I think it looks like guitar picks, but this one is Pink Drops. It's in fluorescent green. This is one of my favorites. It's very bright. And this one's double-sided because I had a lot of this fabric. And I've outlined it with the hot pink, corresponding hot pink stitches. And that one's got the traditional blankie stitch, but that's Pink Drops.
That's great. I like the variety that you have.
It'll almost glow in the dark.
Almost. Well, last week we began comparing perspectives of changing times as viewed by the people of the 1900s. We presented the first 2 years and ran out of time, so we returned to that treasured time, the first decade of the 20th century. That's right, we're now in the 21st century. We're continuing in our efforts to entertain and amuse you by presenting our views of that time. Some stories are true, some are fiction, and some are just jokes. So join us, share as we present selected stories about some people from yesteryear.
I think I want to tell some jokes first.
Well, tell some jokes, Terry.
All right. Confucius is a very intelligent man.
I know about him.
All right. Confucius say, men who run in front of car get tired.
Oh, my goodness.
He says, men who run behind car get exhausted. Confucius say, men who drive like hell bound to get there. Confucius say, men who get hit by car get that run down feeling.
Oh my.
Confucius say, men who shoot off mouth must expect to lose face. Yeah. And finally, Confucius says, a single fact can ruin a good argument.
By golly, that's true. Well, technology, science, and inventions have progressed in an accelerated rate during the last 100 years of the 20th century, more than any other century, at least we think so. We began the 20th century with the infancy of airplanes, automobiles, radio, and then those inventions dazzled us with their novelty and wonder. We ended the 20th century with spaceships, computers, cell phones, and the wireless internet, all being technologies we take for granted. Last week we talked about the Zeppelin, the escalator, and the portable camera by George Eastman. That was in 1900. 1901, the Gillette razor, safety razor, got invented. The first radio receiver was successfully received a radio transmission, and Hubert Booth invents a compact and modern vacuum cleaner. Now that was certainly an interesting piece of information to me. Herbert Booth was an engineer. He patented a motorized vacuum cleaner on August 30th, 1901. It was a big horse-drawn petroleum-driven unit which parked outside the building to be cleaned with long hoses being fed through the windows. He demonstrated his vacuum device in a restaurant that same year and successfully sucked dirt.
bet that was a scary looking thing. You got this.
Yeah. Well, James Spangler in 1907, a janitor in Canton, Ohio department store, deduced that the carpet sweeper he was using was the source of his chronic coughing. Spangler tinkered with an old fan motor, attached it to a soapbox stapled to a broom handle. Using a pillowcase as a dust collector, Spangler invented a new portable and electric vacuum cleaner. He improved his basic model, the first to use a cloth filter bag and cleaning attachments. Got his patent in 2008 and joined up with his cousin, William Hoover. No, not 2008, 1908. Jiminy. I'm glad somebody's listening. His brother-in-law, or his cousin, was married to William Hoover, became the founder of the president of Hoover Company, a vacuum cleaner manufacturer, and Spangler sold his patent rights and continued to design for the Hoover Company. And we all know by 1919, Hoover cleaners were widely manufactured, complete with the beater bar to establish the time-honored slogan, "It beats as it sweeps and cleans."
And now you can get a vacuum that has little balls in it and does tricks. And,
oh my, all over the place. In 1902, Willis Carrier invents the air conditioner. Now, like so many of the inventions that we've got here, the intent was different than the result. Carrier was worked. Well, by golly, I lost Carrier here.
Too many notes today.
All right. Well, anyway, Carrier was an engineer, and he was working for the Buffalo Forge Company. And his job was that he was put on right out of college was to kiln dry lumber.
Okay.
Air dry it. And so he found out that there was not any information on how much heat you needed, how much wind you needed, and so forth. So he devised the tables that heat exchanger information that it comes from, and that worked for the lumber company. They controlled the humidity and the air quality. And then a printing company came to them and said that we're having trouble with our printing presses and our paper sticking and static. And so we're not. You get static when the air gets dry. Mm-hmm. You get limp pages when it gets wet.
Okay.
So he made the first commercial adaptation of the humidity or air control quality in the printing company, and a few years later, using the information that he built, he devised the air conditioner for commercial use.
And I hope his children are still making money. That's a magnificent machine.
Yeah, in 1902, the lie detector or polygraph machine was invented by James McKenzie. Now, James McKenzie was a heart doctor in England. And he was measuring people, and he found out that people under stress, their heart rates change. So he he put the thing together with a wrist strap and throat measuring the
counting the carotid artery.
Carotid, yes, carotid, and made a little squiggly thing there so that when it changed. In other words, he was recording the heartbeat and the intensity of it, and it worked after a fashion. Yeah. But polygraphs are still not legally
admissible
in court because they're not accurate.
Yeah, but fail one and see what happens to your job.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. Yeah. We talked about the teddy bear. We didn't talk about George Claude inventing the neon light, but that came. Right. Rather interesting because of all the signs that was the result of that. We talked about crayons. Bottle making machinery was invented by Michael J. Owens of Owens Corning Glass Works. The Wright brothers invented the first motorized gas airplane.
That's 1903. First
1903.
Airplane. Now we go to the moon.
Yeah, now we're going to the two. We talked about tea bags in 1904. Benjamin Holt invents a tractor, and I thought that was pretty kind of neat because Benjamin was working with farm stuff, and he made a tractor with my man
Got a tongue twisted over his eye tooth. He can't see what he's saying.
Yeah. Anyway, he subsequently developed the tracks that go on tanks, and they won World War I with it. And then he formed the Caterpillar Company in 2008, and was honored for his invention.
Changed the world. Here, I need a joke.
You need a joke. Joke me.
Okay, this is a 1900s joke. This is what passed for humor back then. A highly inebriated, including the language and terminology that's in this thing. The highly inebriated individual halted before a solitary tree and regarded it as intently as he could, with the result that he saw two trees. He attempted to pass between these His attempt to pass between these resulted in a near concussion of his brain. He reeled back, but presently sighted carefully and tried again with the same result. When this had happened half dozen times, the unhappy man lifted up his voice and wept. "Lost, lost," he sobbed, hopelessly lost in an impenetrable forest. Where's my button?
Yeah, where's the button?
He got lost in a forest of one tree. Give me that.
Oh, the little boy comes over to the policeman and says, "Quick, there's a man fighting my father for more than half an hour." "Why didn't you tell me before?" "'Cause father was getting the best of it until about now."
Here's one I like. It's dated too. It says, a mouse chanced upon a pool of whiskey that was a result of a raid by prohibition enforcement agents. And the mouse had no previous acquaintance with whiskey, so he took a little drink and the strange fluid and returned to his hole to think about it. After some thought, he returned to the pool, took a second sip of whiskey, and then went to his hole to think about it some more. Presently, he issued forth and drew near the pool for the third time. Now it took a big drink, nor did it retreat into the hole. Instead, it climbed up on a soapbox, and I can't find the button. Climbed up on a soapbox, stood on his hind legs, bristled his whiskers, and squeaked, "Now, bring on your cat!"
I got a couple here that I found I had to explain. They're streetcar jokes from 1900.
Okay.
And the little boy had recently passed his 5th birthday, was riding in a suburban car with his mother, and they were asked the customary question, "How old are you, little boy?" After being told the correct age, which did not require a fare, the conductor passed on to the next person. The boy sat quite still as if pondering over the question, and then concluded that the full information had not been given. Called loudly to the conductor then at the other end of the car, "And my mother's 31. Yeah, they said, "How old are you, Tommy?" When I'm home, I'm 5. When I'm in school, I'm 6. And when I'm on a streetcar, I'm 4.
Yeah, I guess 4-year-olds get free ride, huh?
Yeah.
That's a good one. Did you know that dolphins are so smart that within a few weeks of captivity, they can train people to stand on the very edge of the pool and throw them fish? I like that one.
They sure can.
Much the same way cats do when they get in and out, right?
You got an article there about Leo Baekeland made Bakelite.
Bakelite, yeah.
Bakelite.
What year was Bakelite? 1907.
1907. Changed the world.
Yep. Oh, well, maybe 90 seconds. Well, anyway, he was Bakelite, first in plastic ever invented. The man found it by accident, was looking for a way to waterproof tablecloths, and came up with an alternative to shellac, but instead he accidentally found plastic. And it got used for everything. Radio cabinets, buttons, billiard balls, pipe stems.
Plugs,
everything. And changed the world. So,
yeah,
60 seconds.
Interesting that cellophane by Jacques Brandenburger was also a tablecloth type thing. A waiter spilled wine over his table, and he
got them mixed together.
Yeah, he tried to make a cover for the tablecloth,
Yeah.
And
Peeled it off.
It peeled off all in one piece, so he got into cellophane, and daggone, we still got it here.
Yep.
In summary, today we explored the new things of the earliest 20th century. Now, much is common and necessary, and there was a time when it wasn't. Our mission on these Blog Talk Radio presentations is to stimulate your thinking, prod your mind into new channels, pump up your interest in life, rebuild your enthusiasm. Whether you're pro or con, we insist that you join us as we investigate,
evaluate,
participate, be part of the solution, not part of the problem. We thank you for listening to our broadcast today. We merely tried to amuse you and not educate you. We hope that we were successful. Our show was entertaining. And we'll return with our continuing viewpoints next Tuesday at 2 p.m., May the 8th, and we'll discuss again changing times with a different view. Join us, and maybe some of our positions will be yours.
I'm Teresa.
I'm Steve. Thank you for listening.
Think positive. Look at it again.
Be positive. We'll have positive enjoy. And look at the camera, Steve.
Goodbye.
This show was brought to you by Gigi Blankies since 2011. Musings with Steve and Teresa are a Blog Talk weekly feature talking about different changing times and how it applies to you. For a complete selection of Gigi Blankies, please call Teresa at 740-727-1684. Thank you for listening.